So I was going to do a little funny gag, but apparently it's not funny, so I gave up trying. So we'll go with the tried and true. Church here, and welcome to the Game Grinder. And today we're doing another pickup video and a little mini update at the end. So of course, these are my recent pickups since my last video, which I believe was about 2 months ago at this point. Not a whole lot here. I've kind of slowed down with the collecting, as with the upcoming new release fall season, there's a lot of things I'm really excited for, a lot of really cool collector's editions, so I decided to, couldn't justify buying a lot of the older stuff if I want to get a bunch of the new stuff. So, without further ado then, I think I might have talked about this before, but a lot of weekends I hang out with friends and my brother, and we like to play video games, or board games, or card games, or whatever, or just hang out, but we were trying to figure out some games to play, because of course I have nothing to play whatsoever, but they were giving me a lot of crap because there was a couple games I didn't have that we used to play quite a bit, not back in the day, but quite a while ago. So we decided to load up in the car, drive over to the local game shop, and they bought these games for me. So of course I appreciate it very, very much. Thank you for that. And at the same time, I picked up a couple things. So the first game here is Tekken Tag for the PlayStation 2. Of course, great Tekken fighting game. This is the first time they added in the tag mode, where you can switch between characters during a match, which is pretty cool. But the part that we really enjoy about the game, on top of the game itself, is Tekken Bowling, which is, it's a bowling game. It's kind of fun with some of the characters. They kind of have ridiculous throws and whatnot because they're, cyborgs or whatever. But fun bowling game, so we decided to pick it up again. I actually don't have the save data anymore. My brother doesn't have the save data, but luckily one of my friends does, and he just hasn't brought over his memory card yet. And apparently he has it sitting on the table ready to go next time he comes over, so we can play some bowling. And the other game here is Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2011. Not a particular reason for this Tiger Woods game, it was just a decent golf game that we wanted to play. We've actually played golf games for pretty much ever. Back on the Nintendo, we used to play Lee Trevino's golf. Later was the Skins game on Super Nintendo, so on and so forth. And we just wanted to pick up a golf game. This was available and cheap, and I believe most of the Tiger Woods games are pretty much the same. So I will say, I guess I shouldn't be surprised. EA kind of has that aura of vileness around them, but for games in the US anyways, some of the biggest sellers are sports games, and the amount of money that they make off of them, you would think that it wouldn't be that hard to do minor bug fixing. This game is buggy as shit. I mean, it's definitely fully playable, but it lags out all the time, frames glitching and stuff. Just weird oddities every once in a while, but it's a pretty solid game. We've played it quite a bit so far. So that's pretty cool, and I definitely appreciate getting some games that my friends and I can enjoy playing. So the other things I picked up was a PlayStation 3 controller, gold, going for all the colors eventually. And then I decided to pick up a couple strategy guides for some games that I really want to get to sooner than later. And of course, I always say they're high up on my list, but they are. Things just get shuffled around at random when I just really get the urge to play something. But the first guide I got here was for Dragon Quest VIII, which, like I just said, I haven't played yet. A lot of people tell me this is the game I should be playing before other games. I just haven't gotten to it yet, but hopefully soon, I hope. Anyways, and then in my last pickup video, a friend had given me a good deal on Grandia, so I picked up the Grandia guide as well. So that is great. Hopefully, like I said, I can play these soon. It's hard to say with all the new stuff coming up here. But another little random thing here. So I have to kind of give some credit to the channel, which I really recommend you checking out. Great channel. I'll try to put a link in the description. But great guy, great content, great reviews, big RPG guy. He recently did a re-review of Final Fantasy VIII. And he had talked about the Pocket Station, which brought it back to my attention. Now, this is something I actually knew about since back when it was released originally. It wasn't released in the US, only in Japan. But I believe at the time I was reading a PlayStation magazine or EGM or something, and they talked about it, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. But of course, never had it, and I've actually looked for it once in a while over the years. Like, I'll remember it, look for it, can't find it, or can't find a good price, and then, you know, forget about it, and, you know, reapproach it every few years. So I did some searching, and I actually got a really, really great deal on this. Like, it was actually kind of crazy. I ordered this, which is mostly, I believe, a complete in-box Pocket Station, and then I also ordered there's a translucent variant. I just got the Pocket Station, but I'm not sure if it was, I can't remember if it was the same seller or not. I think it was. I got it on eBay, but crazy good deal on this and the other one, and I'm not sure if maybe they realized that, and I don't know what happened, but, you know, I had the initial emails that, you know, my auctions were won or whatever, but the gray one, or the translucent one, I never got charged for it. When I went and looked there, I couldn't find anything about the posting, not saying it was closed or canceled or anything, it just wasn't there. I went back and checked through my emails, I couldn't find the emails. I don't know, ghost or something, who knows, but, you know, I didn't end up getting that one, but I got this for a great price. I think it's mostly complete. It comes with some instructions, of course they're in Japanese, but what this is basically, it's like the Dreamcast VMU. It is a little device that you can plug into the PlayStation in the memory card slot, and it has some minor functionality, like more mini game compatible with certain other games. Like, there's not a whole lot, I mean, in the grand scheme of the PlayStation release, but there's a bunch of games that made advantage of this. And in Boston Barf's video, he talked about the Final Fantasy VIII. You get a Guardian Force by using this, and I believe there's also a like Chocobo mini game of some sort. And then some other games was actually Grandia has some functionality with this. I'm not totally sure what it is. And I believe Legend of Mana does as well, which also I still need to play. But yeah, I decided to pick this up. Really cool. I've always wanted one. It's super clean. I haven't gotten a battery for it yet, so I haven't messed around with it. The posting anyway said that they could ship like lithium-ion batteries or something. But I also got the little lanyard with it as well. So that is great. Eventually I will get the translucent one, and more recently when I was just kind of doing some searching, it looked like there was a translucent pink or red one. So, you know, not my favorite color in the world, but I like having all the different colors. You know, it'll go well with my pink Wii remote. But yeah, so just a few other things here. So I was at a Target, and they were having a clearance on these, and usually I'm not, like, these aren't my things, but I decided to pick up a couple Funko Pop figures. I got the Big Daddy and the little sister from BioShock. Yeah, so I saw this, I thought it actually looked pretty cool, you know, very comparable to the game, not as goofy as the typical Funko Pop figures. So I picked up Big Daddy, and actually I decided to check another Target just to see if they had it, because they didn't have the little sister, but got a little sister as well. So kind of cool. These would probably be the only Funko Pops I will get, or at least plan on getting at this point. I haven't seen many other cool ones. I guess maybe Claptrap I might pick up at some point. I come across it every once in a while, and I just don't bring myself to buy it. But yeah, then a few other things here is going to be the Hotline Miami Collector's Edition vinyl, and I did a like unboxing or opening video for this. Really recommend checking it out. It's a pretty cool package. You know, awesome art for Hotline Miami. If you have not played the games, I'd really recommend checking them out. They're a lot of fun. Oops, really tough, but awesome soundtrack, and that's pretty much why I bought this, was just to kind of support the game, support the artists involved, because I really enjoy it. And I'm actually looking at possibly, just for the hell of it, maybe picking up a few others. There are a few other games that I really love the soundtracks that apparently do have these fancy vinyl collector's edition things coming out. But then the last 3 games here were just kind of like a random stop. There's a pawn shop I like to hit like maybe once or twice a year, and they really always seem to have some pretty decent prices. Not anything like particularly rare. Most of it's going to be kind of pretty current gen, like PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, Wii, and then the Xbox 360 and Xbox One. They have a pretty good selection. There's a lot of DS stuff, but they're all loose, so I don't really spend too much time looking at it. But I usually can grab some PlayStation games and some Wii games, so I decided to take advantage of that. So the first game here is Ni no Kuni, which a lot of people tell me is a fantastic RPG. This is made by Studio Ghibli, who makes some of my favorite animes ever. A lot of movies. I think a lot of people probably be familiar with them at this point, but yeah, this game comes highly recommended from Southern Star Gamer and a few other people, so yeah, glad to add that to my collection, and who knows when I'll get to it, but I will get to it eventually. So then the next game is going to be Super Mario Galaxy. Still haven't played it, of course. I mean, it goes without saying, fantastic game. I know all about it, seen tons of reviews, nothing but praise. Looks like a lot of fun. I just didn't get the Wii until more recently, so it's going to probably take me longer to get through like to the Wii games than some of the other games that have been sitting on my shelves for years. But yeah, so now I have that. And lastly, I picked up House of the Dead 2 and 3 Returns, which when I picked this up, I didn't exactly know that this was just, I believe, a port of the Dreamcast games. Correct me if I'm wrong, I could look it up, I guess. But I've been hearing that it's pretty good, so that is great, because House of the Dead Overkill, which I played through with friends a few times, was not that great. Pretty boring, pretty straightforward. I mean, we had fun enough playing it. The cutscenes are kind of funny, and some of the dialogue, and that's kind of the point, but the gameplay was, I thought, really lacking. So yeah, that is my pickups for this time. So just a little update. I want to talk about a few things going on. Want to encourage you to check out a few videos, collaborative efforts that I've done recently. So the first one is ReviewTubes did a review for my channel. He hit me up and asked me if he could do a review for my channel, and I was like, yeah, that sounds really cool. And he asked me to do a little bit at the beginning, so I was happy to oblige. And of course, again, I thank you very much for that. Makes me feel great about what I do. I still think what I do is, nothing special, very amateur, but, I enjoy doing it nonetheless. And the review just, words can't do it justice. And it's a really great video. Like, I don't know, I could just be self-indulgent, but I thought it was a fantastic put-together video, so I really encourage everyone to check it out. And then a couple other ones that I've probably mentioned before. Of course, I've linked it on Facebook and Twitter and whatnot, but I did a top 5 video game movies with the old-ass retro gamer. A lot of fun. We both talk about 5 of our favorite video game movies. I really recommend checking that out. And also with the Chuck Files, I did a really cool look at Dark Souls 3. It's basically its principles in guiding the player through direct and indirect methods. Really interesting process, working on something very different from anything that I do. Very well put together, great editing, and I really recommend checking that out because put a lot of work into it. And last but not least, of course, is Joe Goes Retro put together A to Z review video of the NES, a collaborative video where he asked a bunch of people in the community if they would like to participate, and a lot of people volunteered. So basically everybody reviewed a letter from the alphabet. I picked G and reviewed The Guardian Legend, which is one of my favorite games on the NES, and it's just a fantastic video. A lot of really great reviews, some really funny ones, some really awesomely made ones. So I really recommend checking that out, and leave some comments and show some support to them as well. So then just a little update kind of where the channel is and kind of what I have planned. So it has now been about a year and a half that I've been doing YouTube, and I think just for the month of September, I might be kind of maybe only doing 1 or 2 videos. Kind of need a little bit of downtime, especially with my work. Things kind of get a little stressful at this point, and just having a little extra time to de-stress and maybe not necessarily worry about having to put out a video in a timely fashion for a couple weeks would be beneficial, I think. So, like I said, I'm not putting out anything this month, but things might be a little bit slower. But then, of course, once October hits, it's right back to the grind. I think there'll probably be some more horror-related content coming, especially with Halloween being one of my favorite holidays. But yeah, so besides that, of course, the podcast is still going strong. We're about to hit episode 20, and if you have been following us for any length of time, episode 15 was a live broadcast of the podcast, and we are doing pretty much our plan is every 5th episode will be a live episode, and basically people can join us and chat and ask us questions and comment, and we will try our best to incorporate that into the conversations and have some conversations with you while we're talking about whatever we decide to talk about. We don't have a specific plan right now. We're just kind of flying by the seat of our pants, but that's the Game Tenants podcast, and that's how we do it best. So we definitely recommend checking that out. And then it sounds like probably the next couple episodes we might be having some guests, so definitely stay tuned for that. And there are some possible collaborative efforts coming up here, so I'm pretty excited to work on some other content that I don't normally do. But yeah, so I think that will about do it for this video. I hope everybody's cool with me maybe taking like a couple weeks off and not doing a normal release. But of course, I will try to put out something to some extent, just not a full-blown review or anything like that. Definitely if I get some collector's editions, which I can't remember if I am in September, I'll definitely do unboxings for those. But just need a little downtime to kind of de-stress and regain some composure. There's a few game reviews that I have just not written for months and months, and I really need to write these game reviews before I can't formulate a solid conversation about them. So yeah, so of course, as always, I would love to know your thoughts on these games and some of the things that I picked up. For you other content creators, like, what are your thoughts on taking little breaks and kind of recouping? Do you have like a time frame you give yourself, or how do you kind of handle that? I would be interested to know what other people do in these kind of situations. But yeah, so as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you next time on the Game Grinder.